Cheers, radio. It's episode 90. Big 90.
Big 90.
And we got Andrea Sixtos in the building. What's going on, Andre? Welcome back. Thanks.
It's good to be back. It's been like 2 years.
Yeah. You know
Actually,
what's funny?
probably longer than that.
We're in this studio usually filming a self-tape most of the time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't done a podcast in a minute. I feel like, when was the last? You did it when SB was here, right? SB was here.
Yeah, that was the only one I did.
Yeah, it's been a minute. How that? So much has happened since then.
So
oh my God!
I know.
I haven't even thought about it. Okay.
I know.
First of all, how are you?
I'm doing well.
What did your Twitter say? And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. That's what we're gonna call this episode.
And so it is.
Damn. All right. Cool. How you been, man? There's been a lot of stuff happening. I know we've been in a pandemic, but even before that, work was good, right? You were flying in and out of town. That's what it was. You were flying in and out of town a lot. You were going to Canada a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't talk about the project then.
Did they?
I didn't give you any information about it except
I think you booked it right after. Or did we talk about it in that episode?
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
I was just like, this is what just happened.
Yeah.
I can't tell you details.
So you were on Arrow for a little bit, quite a bit.
Arrow, yeah. I was on Arrow all of 2019. Yeah, end of 2018, all of 2019. I was in Canada. It was so fun.
Yeah, I've never been to Canada.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vancouver. It's just, it's like a nature just wonderland, and you could walk everywhere.
Yeah.
I was staying downtown. You could walk everywhere.
Oh, dope.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you got to do some cool stuff. That's really cool, man. It's like a DC universe superhero. You're a superhero. You're a superhero.
I was a fucking superhero. Yeah, I am a superhero forever.
Yeah, for real, forever. That's it's one of those categories that everybody has like a fantasy about, and it's like, man, I would love to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Did you have to do training and stuff? You did, right? You did training and stuff.
A little bit. I had a stunt double, but I was just
go ahead, take care of that stuff.
Well, I wanted to. I was very capable of doing my own stunts and stuff. It's just, it was just time.
Yeah.
They had professionals already who knew it was up.
Yeah, they don't have to explain and.
Yeah. But I was able to do a couple cool maneuvers with my bow staff and stuff.
Yeah, I remember. You got a bow staff in your place. It's up against. I think I put it up there.
Yeah.
Above your door.
Oh, I think you did.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, man. It's been since then, and then the pandemic hit, and Andrea's been painting and playing the piano.
Indeed, I have. And a lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
Right.
Yeah. So it's been keeping me centered.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic. I feel like so far where I'm at with it, like, I don't know. I'm actually really pleased with it. It's been some of the best. This is kind of fucked up because some people are they're having a rough time, but it's been so good to me, or for me rather. I don't know, to me, for me, either way, and I think a lot of the problems that a lot of people are centered around is it's like being still is very difficult. Especially this is coming from someone who can't. I run on caffeine, just all the stimulants. I run on all the stimulants, so it's hard for me to stay still.
Yeah.
But I do practice it. A lot of the time, just being alone at home, and I think this pandemic has forced a lot of people into that. And I don't know, you've always kind of been, a homebody too.
Oh yeah.
So.
Majorly.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the pandemic hit, like couple weeks before, I was super, super deep into just like wanting to just go inward. Just like, and I always have been that way, but around that time, I was asking the universe, like, come on, I just need some me time.
Give me a little break.
Need a little break. Things were really hectic, and I don't know. I will go in and out of like being at really high frequencies to where I don't want to be associated with society.
Yeah.
And then to like being like pushed out into society and like forced by my guides.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, okay, you're getting a little too floaty, you're a little
Yeah.
too in
Too
another
detached.
world, too detached from,
Yeah.
getting shit like done in the material
That's
world.
the beautiful balance, right? Like there's at least for me, this is the way I kind of live. It's like there's like a energetic world that I kind of try to keep myself at, and then there's this material world where there's certain rules of physics and certain things you got to do.
Yeah.
They require action, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's all these like woo woo books about like manifesting and creating. It's a balance. Like I think
You
it's a
gotta find the
balance of
balance.
like of like
Exactly.
moving in this world, right? Getting shit. Don't just sit around and fucking dream all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
about yeah, dream, but dream with your eyes open.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
into the world that are you're moved through action through your dreams.
Right, right.
Um, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, in order to find that balance, you have to go into both extremes. Like you have to go deep within, and then you also have to be fully engaged outwardly. And then, eventually you'll just kind of be able to mesh the two together and find a nice flow.
How do you what's your process? Like how do you when you're feeling, because there's a lot of people, I mean, I'm one of them, when you're feeling off, I know when I'm off, right? I've gotten to the point in my life where I can feel when I'm like energetically off, as crazy as that sounds, but you know
That's
what I'm
not
talking about.
crazy at all.
But I'm just saying, for someone who doesn't understand it, it
Yeah,
sounds crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you know exactly what I mean. When you're just energetically off, you're like, shit, I'm not. It's really strange because even for me, like when I'm really like feeling lit, like 100%, I'm on my shit. I'm working out. I'm really efficient. It's like money's just flowing. Everything's just working, and I'm not doing shit. It feels like I'm standing still in the middle of this like hurricane of emotions. You know, that because they come and go, and I'm not like I'm anchored down. What is your process of like, because it happens, and I think that's what you're talking about too, like detaching from society, because you fall into that, right? People will pull you into their how they're feeling. They'll be like, oh, because I'll give you an example. You'll be like, good morning, and then somebody's like, oh, good morning, I just got a flat tire and I got a parking ticket, I'm getting divorced, and they just start unloading all this shit onto you. They're just looking for somebody who looks them in the eyes, and it being Andrea. How do you help yourself steer clear from that, and then how do you also at the same time, how do you for your process, how do you when you do get sucked into that like negative feeling, how do you get back to your center?
I think it's just understanding that everyone's on their own path. Everyone has their own shit that they're dealing with in their lives, and it's not yours to take on. It's your job to just like, yes, receive and like listen and be like, okay, I see the struggle that you're going through, and I will pray for for
Well-being.
your well-being, for some
Yeah.
balance to enter your life.
Well, where are you at with boundaries on that? Like, how much of that do you let in? Is there a limit? Or are you gonna take on? Because that shit happens. Like when you're a light, you attract a
Yeah,
lot of
because I'm a
moths.
listener too. I
That's what I'm
love to
saying.
listen to people. Like I enjoy holding safe space for people, and I believe that I've become pretty good at unattaching myself from their pain. I could have empathy and
Yeah.
and I could feel for them, but and I can give them some advice, but I won't take it with me when I leave. Like I'll think about them. I'll think good thoughts and hope the best for them. But I'm not one to just like let that energy soak into me and bring me
So
down.
what
And
does
so,
bring you down then? Sometimes.
what does bring me down?
Yeah. That's what I'm curious to. Like, I'm trying to get at like where most people are at. Of like when you are out of your energetic flowing self, however you get there, how do you get out?
Oh,
For your process, you know what I mean?
oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's it's ground, just uh, being alone. Centering back into my own energy. Doing something that I love. I centered straight back when I
Andrea's
play
getting really good at the piano.
when I play the piano, I was
Yeah,
about to say,
you're getting going down.
thank you, thank you so much.
You're
Yeah,
getting real good.
I love it. I love it. It's everything.
It's beautiful though because I can feel the emotion a lot of times, and then the way like and what you're playing. You know how there's pretty chords and there's sad chords and there's major, minor, or whatever. So I don't know. I hear it and I'm just like, oh, this, it's a nice little like almost like melodramatic.
Yeah, I like playing like melancholic, dreamy music.
It's very much that.
Yeah, because I feel like we're always in a constant flow of like being sad and happy and like like being in the clouds and then coming back down, thinking of distant memories, and that's the type of shit that I like to play. It takes you into another world, and
you see a movie. It makes you watch the movie. Like it's very much that. It's almost like a soundtrack to like The Secret Garden or whatever.
Yeah. Actually, I learned a song from The Secret Garden.
So like piano would be one of them.
Piano, absolutely. Nature, obviously. Just taking a walk.
Go to a national park.
Going to friggin' Joshua Tree. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Casa de Mariposa.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm almost done with it, man. It's been a beautiful little process. That's also been. It's kind of been like the same thing for me. It's been more like where I'm alone. I'm in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert, and doing something that's like fulfilling and something I can, I don't know, be proud of or be, that's been my thing, just side parlay. Yeah. But painting or
painting. I love painting. Or just sitting and breathing, taking deep breaths. That's a big one. Taking deep breaths for me.
Real. That's so underrated.
It's like, for real. It's just like, why am I feeling anxious? Well, maybe I'm not taking deep enough breaths. Okay, well, let me take some deep breaths, and I usually feel better after that.
It's funny. I'll catch my dog just going, and then I'll be like, because they really take on a lot of your shit, So it's like I'll feel my breathing, and it's like short, like I'm like shit. I gotta
breathe it out.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Slow down. I'm having a lot of coffee too. I asked, we were doing a self tape, and I was like, Dre, she's like, I'm gonna get a coffee, and I was like, can you get a latte? Can I get a latte? I'm like, but a medium one. And I just want one shot. They usually do 2 shots. I'm like, but tell them to just pour me 1 shot. And I guess she misheard it, and she shows up with a quad shot.
I did. Well, yeah. Well, shit.
I was fucking totally wired.
My bad.
That was so funny.
My bad.
You're like, I totally got it wrong. I was like, you know what? This the universe telling me to get a little extra spicy today.
Everything happens for a reason.
We were talking about love the other day. Love. Oh, such a big word.
It is. It is.
You been in love, Dre? You've been in love.
I've been in love. I have. I'm always in love.
Yeah, for real.
I am love. We are love. So, but to be like fully in love in like a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a vulnerable, for me, experience. Really, like at a certain level, when you really start to like surrender and accept people, and it's such a I don't know. What is love, first of all? I mean, I know it's almost like a feeling, right? I mean, I guess it's a feeling. It's an emotion.
It's an emotion. It's completely like you feel it in your soul and your body. It's a full on visceral experience.
And it's also subjective. Everyone has a different interpretation of it.
Yeah. How to talk about
to
talk about love.
Yeah. I mean,
in that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's like I feel like every time I've been in a relationship, whether it be quote unquote good or quote unquote bad, it's always very much a mirror into yourself, and it just exposes you so much, and that's why if you're like trying to do it the healthy way and the right way,
Yeah.
It exposes you to really cope with areas of yourself. This fucking coffee, because it's got too much oat milk. It gets it all Makes my
grainy.
Yeah, it makes my throat all messed up, and I'm still sipping it. But yeah, I've learned so many lessons through love, and like getting back to like detachment, right? Even like being able to, if you truly love something, you see you got to let it go, which is like the hardest thing to do.
Thing, yeah.
You know.
It really is. It really is. Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, like.
How have you dealt with heartbreak in the past?
How have I dealt with the heartbreak? I kept choosing myself, time and time again.
How do you do that?
Well, doing what I want to do, like being like, okay, well, positive affirmations, saying that I am worthy, I am worth more than what is being presented to me in this situation. Like, okay, my heart hurts, I feel this, okay, I'm not going to push it down, I'm going to feel it and really and soak in that pain, because only then can you heal, is through your pain, you
gotta go in.
and processing it, and thinking, okay, what is the source of this pain? Why is this hurt so badly? Okay, well, I obviously really cared for that person, and they seemingly hurt me.
Yeah.
When really it has nothing to do with me. And that's another thing. Like, you have to think about, like, this has nothing to do with me at all. And has everything to do with this other person. So there's nothing wrong with me. I am whole.
I mean, it's a balance, right?
It's
both for you guys. It's for both of you guys, really.
Yeah, of course.
It's. I feel like so many times too, like we get trapped into something, and then it just becomes comfortable, or right. I've been there where it's become comfortable, or it just becomes convenient to be in a relationship with this person, and it's just not. It's not going to be a thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just a placeholder for you, but it's safe. And I feel like so many people get trapped into that. And so many people are blindsided when somebody's like one day like I got to go, or but it's just I don't know.
People will come and go. People are going to come and go, and that's something that you need to come to terms with in this life. It's just, nothing is permanent.
Everything's changing. Everything's
constantly changing, and what you may have needed in your life, at one moment can change completely. You can be a completely different the next day. So to hold on to a person so tightly and being like, you are my everything, you are,
That's how you push it away.
That's how you push it away. The attachment to it.
Same thing with money.
Yeah.
Same thing with fucking anything. Anything you squeeze so tightly on you because you're fueled by fear.
Yeah.
I think that's the root of it.
Yeah.
You're fueled like I don't want to lose this. I can't lose
person.
This is everything, right?
Yeah.
And as opposed to, true detachment.
True detachment. It's unconditional love. Like, whether or not we end up together, I will always wish you goodwill, happiness, always seeing that vision in your head of like wanting the best for this person. And if it just so happens not to include me in that vision of theirs, then so be it. So be it. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Mm.
And so, yeah, it's the non-attachment and going back to yourself. It's a constant process of remembering.
You got to pour into yourself
to fill up your own cup.
Yeah. When you're in a relationship and say your spouse or your person, your partner, your whatever, insert whatever label, your person, are having trouble, communicating. And I think so many times I've been in the position where I've made the error of trying to go and focusing on them and being like, how do I fix like, instead of diverting it back to myself and being like, well, what's going on? Why why are certain people feeling some type of way about me? Because what am I putting out? You know, I think that's the real way to figure it out. You know, it's like once you pour into yourself and you really get to the best version of yourself, other people around you are going to appreciate it. Your partner's probably going to appreciate a better version of you if that's what you're doing, you know? So.
Yeah. Yeah. And you would hope that they're also, pouring into themselves, filling their own cups, not relying on you to keep them happy all the time. It's just, that's just a recipe for heartbreak.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for
Nobody's
heartbreak.
in charge of your happiness.
Nobody. So you have to have your own life.
Even that, like, so the attachment, and that's the thing too. It's like cycle breaking. We're breaking cycles because I feel like the generation, our parents' generation, where it's like it was one life, as opposed to having two individual lives
coming together and enhancing each other's lives.
Yeah, overflowing onto each other's cups.
Yes. Yeah. It's just like, oh my gosh, I have so much love inside of me already. Like I'm already happy on my own, but I have so much love I want to give to somebody. It's just like that's when you're ready to step into something more committed. Not from the lack of love within yourself, wanting that love from someone else.
You're looking for something that you can't find within yourself. At that point.
Yeah.
And I think it's super important. God damn it!
Get some water.
I'm drinking water. I don't know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. I'm just coughing. I promise not to run. I've been tested a million times.
You're smoking so much of that herb.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm drinking coffee. Let's take a water break, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? Why don't you guys drink? Let me remind you guys to drink water. You guys want nice, plumpy skin. This is an ad for water. You guys want nice, plumpy, nice, hydrated, beautiful skin. I'm going to give you the hack. I'm going to give you the hack that not a lot of people have. Trader Joe's sponsor me. Vitamin E oil from Trader Joe's. Game changer.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Vitamin E is in the lotions that I make. Vitamin E, jojoba oil, shea butter, coconut oil.
I use all of them. All the oils.
Yeah.
Game changer. Preserve.
Yes, but
drink water.
Water is life.
And drink water. That's
Water's
it.
life.
Vitamin E oil and water, and you'll have fantastic skin. And eat good food. But that'll help a lot.
Yes. Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, just having two individual lives, I think that is a new concept, right? The idea of a wealthy, self-made woman is a new concept, right? I know these kids growing up now, it's probably a little more normal for them, but for me, it's like, I was born in the 80s, and that's a fairly new concept, and now it's like, damn, look at these women, they're getting their bread. Like,
right.
It's dope. But it's still a new concept, that also disrupts the idea of a traditional household. Right? The traditional American household. One person's a breadwinner, one person takes care of the home. It's a new and I feel like it has to be because I don't know, I feel like for sure my parents, their marriage suffered because of that. My dad was a breadwinner, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and like I just feel if I put myself in a woman's shoes, that's gotta kind of fuck with you. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't have anything that you do, right? Your home, you create this home, with this with your partner, and you have these kids, and you raise, which is by far the most important job in the world. You make people, you make the future, but it's tough when one person can solely focus on their career and do that, and because that was also a thing too. It was also a thing that the father didn't have very much of a fatherly role. He was just there providing money, and so all that falls on the woman, and she doesn't have anything that she can be like, well, this is my thing. When the kids grow up, what is she left with, right?
Yeah.
What if they get divorced? What if the kids grow up? What is she left with? And it's like if she hasn't had something that's been able to nurture her or carry her through, because marriage is hills and valleys too. So it's a roller coaster too, I'm sure. If you don't have a thing, like that sounds so unfair to me for women. So it's like, I don't know, it's this new idea I think is much healthier for everybody to have their own thing.
Yeah, like build your own empire as individuals and then come together and
just ball out like Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Exactly.
You know, just
Exactly.
flex on everybody.
Exactly.
And then make some babies if you want.
Yeah,
And
and
then
they'll.
teach them really good things.
Mm-hmm.
That's also subjective, you know. What's really good things.
Right. It's just.
I don't know. It's been. Love is beautiful, though. You know. It's
It is. It is. Yeah, love can never go wasted.
Yeah.
You know.
If it's true love, if it's not lust or attachment or
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
insert
But
whatever.
even then though, like that shows you what you need to work on within yourself. So that even is valuable too, if you're seeing the lesson within the experience. Because only then, you know, if you have self-worth issues and you're seeking, you know, validation from another person and they break your heart, you're just like, ow, that fucking hurts. Like that's a trauma within yourself that
I
needs
just
to be
felt it the way you
healed.
said that. I was like, I don't know why that hurt me.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, and then if you don't get it, just gonna be the universe is gonna push you into the same sort of
get worse,
situation
probably.
over and over and over again until it finally clicks. You're just like, oh, I don't need anyone else to be happy. I
Yeah.
have myself.
Yeah, you have your own
I
happiness.
have my own life. I have the things that I love. You know, and I already have so much love. Like I am loved. I am loved. Like you have to go back to love.
Yeah.
You have to go back to love. It's all a return to love. Returning to love. Returning to love. Isn't there a book?
I don't know.
Return.
Yeah, but I love how you phrase that, where it's or said that, where that's how it exposes you. It's usually because you know fear is a big director for me, right? Usually when I'm scared of things, I tend to lean into them. I don't. It's helped me, you know, when I'm scared to do something. I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I just pull the trigger because I just feel like it's for me when I feel fear, it's usually like, you know, before a big move, right? It's like, you know, before you buy a car or a house or whatever the fuck. And then it's like fear creeps in. I'm like, okay, that's probably the indicator that I'm doing the right thing, and I should, you know, just double down on this.
Yeah.
But it's like when there's pain in a relationship too, that's exposing you to, you know, just the way you said it, that, you know, whatever. That's what I mean by it's such a mirrored experience because, you know, even when they say something that hurts your feelings, right? Why does it hurt your feelings?
Why? Ask why. Keep asking yourself, why do I feel this way? Why?
Because
Why?
obviously they don't feel the same way because they're throwing this around so freely and it's not triggering
Right.
to them, but it's triggering to you.
Not why are they hurting me?
Yeah,
It's
or
why is
or
this
how
hurting
can I
me?
make them change
Yeah.
to, which also, like, we all need work, right? We're all constant. Hopefully, we're all working on ourselves, you know. But focusing on how you make them stop doing what they're doing is probably not the best approach because you're gonna.
No.
Yes, that's how heartbreak happens, right? You're
Exactly.
trying to change what you have been given, right? Instead of being like, well, why when this person says, you know, XYZ, do I feel some type of way?
And it's the hardest thing to do sometimes.
Because it exposes you, you know?
Yeah, to self-reflect, to tap into those deep wounds that have probably been with you since you were a child.
Most
you know,
of it
those
is
traumas have been
childhood.
developed when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And that is the whole journey of being a human. It's
Yeah.
just like we are all born with these, you know, with these traumas. Well, from
We're born into them. You experience them.
you know, from past lives, we, you know, the traumas that we didn't fully heal from then is pulled into this life, and then we get piled on, you know, more traumas throughout our childhood, and then
and that sounds crazy, right? When you're looking at it at such a, like, you know, extrapolated view. But if you really start to focus in, I'll give you an example. I just took this course, so money's been on my mind. I've been thinking about money a lot, and in this course, shout out to, she has a podcast too, In Loose We Trust. Shout out to Linda. She's teaching this course. She teaches Latinas, and I was just interested to see. She teaches about the stock market. So shout out to her. But she was talking about money wounds, right? And that's a trauma that's perpetuated in cycles, right? Through generations, right?
Yeah.
When you experience your parents exhibiting a mindset of scarcity towards money, right? And because you don't know anything, right? You're a kid. You don't know what poor is. You don't know what rich is. You don't know shit about shit, right?
Yeah.
The way you figure that out is when your parents tell you, like, we're broke. We can't afford that.
Yeah.
There's not enough money. What do you think? What do you think? Money grows on trees. All of that, right? Mm-hmm. That is the money wound being passed down onto, because now the child is being programmed with the mentality that there's scarcity.
Yeah, there's not enough to go
money
around. Yeah, yeah.
And for whatever reason, you don't get to have it. Mm-hmm. So you grow up feeling undeserving, and feeling like you're not worthy, or whatever, you make. That's a money wound that gets passed down. So addressing all of that, and even thinking about, like, when you lose money or whatever, that's another indicator, right? You lose $100. Fuck. I remember I've been some of my brokest moments. Luckily, I'm doing great now. But when you've been, we've all been broke, in those moments where it's like, why do I keep running into this? What's that wound? What is this that keeps happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go back to, okay, what is my earliest memory of feeling like I didn't have enough?
Mm-hmm. And this goes, you can insert anything. Love, right?
With anything. Yeah.
Attention, affection, whatever.
Yeah. When did you feel abandoned? Like the first time you felt abandoned? Because I could have very specific memories of feeling abandoned within my family, within my friend groups. Like, I'm just like, oh shit. Like, those were the very specific moments that were pivotal to that deep wound.
That trigger.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, it's not mine to hold on to. Like, it's not serving me anymore. That mentality is not serving me anymore. That it's just holding me down. So it's like, okay,
it's holding you back. And sometimes it benefits you, right? Like, for example, I grew up in some sketchy places, right? Sometimes. For the most part, it was okay. But like South Central and some parts of the Valley, there were some sketchy situations. So you have like this sense of, whatever, you gotta be, you can't look weak, you can't show vulnerability, and that served me in that environment, in that time frame. But it no longer serves me, especially my work. I get paid to be vulnerable, right? So it's like, it serves you until it doesn't, and then it starts to hurt you,
right? Right. Because it's just defense mechanisms.
Yeah.
It's just
survival.
Like, I don't want to be hurt again, so I'm going to block my heart. I'm just going to close off and be like, okay, no, like, there's a barrier, boundary.
Yeah.
And then you're just blocking your blessings. You have to continue, like, you are constantly like cracking your heart open in order to fill those cracks in with more love. To
and grow it.
To grow flower. It's just like to bloom and to grow. Like, it's.
That's what makes a story beautiful, right? It's it's where it's like, when you finally do find the happiness within yourself, and then you get to find, that's like, that makes that story that much more beautiful, to be like, well, dealt with heartbreak a few times. I was blind. I've been looking back. Just as of late, like, looking back at past things, like, I have learned so many lessons through relationships, quote unquote failed relationships. All of them served me so much. I learned so much from just not getting it right, and doing that work, right? I'm a big fan of, after a breakup, really just sitting my ass at home and being like, all right, what just happened? Let's figure this out. You can get wrapped up in this whirlwind, of lust and love or whatever, and you forget about yourself. I've forgotten about myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
me too. Absolutely. You forget about yourself. It's you lose, like, your core, like, this that magical spark within you. I don't know. It's like your light. It starts to dim. Sorry, it's just, you have to return to yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, return to yourself. But at the end of the day, it's just about really just being brutally honest with what you need to work on and where you need to divert your attention, which is usually yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and communication. It's like communicating your feelings and if something does bother you, speak about it.
yeah,
And don't just
don't build
hold it
resentment.
in. Don't build resentment. And it's, when you are triggered, I don't know, I feel like it's an opportunity to better communicate, like to learn how to better communicate your needs, you know, as specifically within a relationship, you know, it's like if you're in a relationship and something bothers you, speak about it, and we talk about this a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Help each other grow,
But even also like taking your space, you know what I mean?
and
Sometimes
taking your space too, of course.
sometimes you need to just, you're like, you know what? I'm feeling triggered, and it's because I have something within myself that I don't know what the fuck's going on. Let me just center back to
That's
myself.
communicating.
Yeah.
That's the communication that you have to have, instead of them being like, oh, whoa,
If your partner
they're
can't
going
understand
through
that, that's on
something,
them.
like,
But you take your space.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I'm a big fan of just leaning into the vulnerability, even like being in relationships or whatever. Like that's such a, for me, it's been like every time it always feels like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Is this and I think the big key, or one of the key parts, is just letting go of expectations. This poor person is taking on this fucking mountain of shit you've built up in your head. You're like, now you're this. Let me throw all these expectations on you. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just a person, man. I'm figuring it out too. It's unfair.
Yeah, absolutely. That you drop the expectations. Like, you'll have this big story in your head. If it doesn't go your way, it just ruins you, and you're just like,
it's hard. It's easier
and then
said
you
than
start
done.
blaming other people for your pain and your, why you're not balanced, and it's just like, that's super selfish.
Yeah.
It's just like, don't project, stop projecting onto other people your own the shit that you need to work on.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing the work is just, it's a constant. It's a, what's the word? Maintenance that you need to perform on yourself. I feel at least, and it never really goes. I feel like every time I feel like I've got it down, life humbles me. It's like, relax, dude. Take a seat. Here's a little lesson for you, and I'm like, ugh. I don't think you can ever really be. What's the word? It's like you got to find a way to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And just constantly being like, all right, like it's constantly effort, consistent effort.
Yeah.
Unlearning, all the programming you've gotten. I think that's the art. Unlearning everything, right? Getting back to like how Drake came into this place. Maybe she didn't know how to drive this avatar yet. She's a baby, winking, moving. She's figuring out the controls. When you get a new game, like an Xbox game or whatever, and you're like, what are the controls? And they're like, XY is punch kick, and then AB is jump squat, whatever, right? That's you as a baby trying to figure it out. But if you could speak, I'm sure you'd be dropping some bars, as a baby, like, yo, I just came from the other side. It's trippy over there, dude. Can't believe I'm a baby. And it's like unlearning and getting back to that, right? Getting back to that angel-like state of pureness.
Yeah, the purity. Yeah.
Not all tainted and mad at the world. That's another thing too. Like I think that's a big thing too. Like I remember I took a trip with my girl. We went to Cabo and it was dope. It was a beautiful trip. And last day we had to fly back, and our flight it wasn't even bad. It wasn't even bad at all. But just the inconvenience, I was just all snappy and shit, and just like kind of being a dick. you know, and not for any particular reason, just kind of like just in a fussy mood. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing something, and it takes someone that can effectively communicate themselves to be like, I don't know what's happening right now, but this is what I'm seeing, and maybe, I don't know. And then you're like, whoa, shit, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What's happening right now? Who am I? What am I doing?
Being reactive.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being, yeah. And we would hope that people close to us would call us out on our shit.
Yeah.
Like some people just stay quiet and
I mean, it's
don't
also
tell.
like...
Just like how, yeah, just like...
It's a big ask.
I mean, it is, since it's not their responsibility to do that.
But
if
the
it
goal is to keep people like that.
Right. If it is like affecting their energy as well, then...
Yeah.
Then that's respect, like self-respect on their end to speak up.
Yeah, and that's how I took it. Where it's like, oh, and you got to take it out sometimes and just be like, whoa. Yeah, I was just being really right. I don't even know what the fuck I'm tripping about. Like, it's not that bad. It's a 3-hour delay. Whatever. I just got off a 6-day vacation or whatever. Yeah. In paradise.
Right. There's nothing to be worried.
And I was just talking to you about it because like I had left. There's moments, right? There's moments where you're slipping. There's moments where you're good. I had left my phone on top of my car. And I just jumped on the highway, and I'm driving because I got out of the car. I needed to adjust my pants. I was wiggling around, and I put my phone on top of the car, and then I get in, just start driving. I'm in Joshua Tree. You know that highway, that long highway? Mm-hmm. And I'm just driving. I'm going like 60. I've been driving for a minute. The music's playing. We're gone. Hell yeah. You know, maybe I'm in an Instagram video or something. I don't know what's happening. But
listening to Alex.
But I'm like going, I'm going 60 or whatever, 65, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go around this guy, and I gun it. I start going like bring up to 80, and I hear thunk, and the music stops, and I was like, and it all like came to me. I'm like, oh, fuck. I left my phone up there, and that was. And I was with my girl, and she's like, "No, that wasn't your phone." I was like, "No, that was my phone."
Yeah, because
she's like, "I refuse to believe that." I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure it's my phone."
Bluetooth shut off.
It's dead. I was like, "Well, mandatory upgrade." That's how I took it. I was just like, you know, I was okay, but a year ago, maybe not a year, maybe like 2-3 years ago, I would have lost my mind. I would have been like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
But what's the point? Who am I going to get mad at? Myself for adjusting my pantalones?
Yeah. It's the worst when you're like, of course that happened to me.
Yeah.
Of course, I know some shit went down. Like, man, that is like my worst pet peeve.
But that's like a thing, right? That could have easily sucked me out of my energetic vibration where I felt good. We were in Joshua Tree. It was listening to music. We're driving. We're going to go get lunch at this dope spot. Where the hell are we going? I think we're going to Crossroads Cafe right there in Joshua Tree. And, I'm like, and then my fucking phone goes, and I'm like, well, what's it going to cost me? Another $100, like, to get the down payment for the phone. And I went, and they're like, cool, yeah, here's another phone. Boom.
Yeah.
And I got a cool new phone. I'm
easy
like,
peasy. And you like this one more than
I went
the
to go
other
look
one.
for the other one. I didn't find it. I went and find my iPhone. That thing got splattered all over the highway. I don't know what happened to it. I never found it. But it could have easily ruined my day.
Yeah.
Could have easily ruined my day.
Totally.
But instead, I was like, let's go to a thrift shop. Let's go. I'll get a phone later. And we went to Palm Springs. Made a day out of it.
Yeah. And then you had no distractions while you didn't have your phone.
Yeah.
You got to be present there with your girl. And yeah. I mean, it's like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. I felt like it was a little bit of a test, and I passed it.
Yes. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Yeah. But then, right, I was passing the test, and then you get other tests, like that moment at the airport where I'm like, just being a dickhead. I'm like, $10 a slice. Just getting pizza, like $10. So like, this freaking airport in Mexico, right? I'm like, $10 a slice of pizza? That's crazy in Mexico. It's nothing. It's nothing, really. I don't know what the fuck.
I mean, for a meal.
I was just, I don't even
to eat substance.
I don't care, really. Yeah. But I was just in my mind for whatever reason, like, was triggered.
Triggered.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, Dre. We're about 45 in. What do you
Really?
want to talk about? What do you want to get off your chest, Dre?
What do I want to get off my chest. Oh my goodness.
Look at the sweater. This is a really cool sweater.
Thank you. I got it from Agape.
Agape.
Agape Spiritual Center.
We were together at Agape.
Yeah.
When Kobe died.
Kobe died that day.
Like, we got there and they announced it.
Mm-hmm. It was such a surreal moment.
It was crazy. It had just happened, like 20 minutes before that. Not as big a guest appearance.
Oh, guest appearance. Guest appearance. Honey's sticking her little snout in.
Yeah, she's like, hi.
How are you so cute? Baby.
Yeah, we were at Agape, but yeah, what do you want to get off your chest, Trey? What do you think is a nice little message we need today on this Tuesday? How are you feeling this pilot season? I don't know.
Well, I feel like it just began for me,
Yeah, same.
Audition started rolling in. But it feels good. It feels good. I feel I'm in a place in my life where I am feeling balanced. I'm feeling good. I have, things going on in my life where I'm feeling very nourished in all the areas in my life, and so it just like to step into a workspace in my mind. I just feel ready.
Yeah.
I feel like.
You also got a few other different things you've taken on, right? You started making candles.
I did. Yeah.
So that's a new little art form for you.
Yeah. Working on a business. Angel Light Candle Co. Don't steal it. I haven't patented that yet.
Copyrighted it yet.
I haven't copyrighted that. So
don't steal it.
Don't steal it.
Damn it, Trey. Go do it right. I have a meeting with. Actually, we have the same business manager.
Yes, you do.
I have a meeting with her tomorrow. Same here. Getting our bread right.
Yeah.
Trey? Just getting our bread right.
Yeah, let's get it.
But
yeah, my candles. It's nice to bring a little, peace to people's lives. Everyone loves candles, and
yeah, I got a gang of them in here in my house. I got a bunch of them everywhere.
Yes, I got you on candles.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a really nice side hustle to keep
that's
me
the thing.
motivated.
Streams of income, and I think it's going to help in any way. Just detaching, because you have all these. That's the thing, right? That's what exactly back to loop around to what we got in the beginning. You have a thing that's yours.
Yeah.
Right. You have your music. You have your painting. Whatever it is, I think you just got to have a thing that's yours.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's what it is. I don't give a shit if you're moving puppets. If you're a ventriloquist, that's what makes me happy. That's what makes you happy. It's about, I think, having. If you ever do this, and you can share that with your children. If you ever do decide to have children and a family and do all these things, you don't ever feel like, say, for example, they grow up. You're still always gonna have your things. You're always gonna have your paint. You're always gonna have your music. You're always gonna have things that you can make, your art. Your work. All of that is yours.
Yeah.
And I think I think all of those are forms of you pouring into yourself.
Yes, and this pandemic has really helped me, focus on those things more, and it's been a amazing journey of self-love through this pandemic, and self-worth, and just finding what it is that makes me truly happy, unattached to any other being in the world other than myself and my higher self, and knowing that I am worthy of all the happiness in the world. And I feel like if you truly, truly believe that to your core, if you truly believe that you deserve success, that you deserve, to be wealthy, to be happy, to be loved by a partner who also loves themselves just as equally, you will get that. You will attract that shit to you. You will. It's law of attraction. Law of attraction is scientifically proven to be true, and so I've always felt like happiness has been right here, right now. No matter what circumstances are going on in my life, it all comes back to balance. If you believe it will,
Yeah, I mean, what are you asking? What's your order to the universe? You know,
Right.
when I feel like words, and this is a constant lesson for me that words are powerful, right? What are you asking the universe? And what I mean by that is, I hear so many times, so many people just, and I'm all about venting, but I hear so many times people just ranting off about what they don't want, right? Or what they're currently staring at, right? These men ain't shit. Ain't no good man out there. This
Right.
is like
That
you're perpetuating like you're creating this vision, right? You as you're interpreting what you're seeing and you're reaffirming it and therefore creating more of it.
yeah.
You know, and or man, all these women money hungry, or these women are not faithful, whatever. What are you speaking into the world, right? What are you saying? Oh, there ain't no good women out there, or I can't find a woman. I can't find a, you know.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And the universe says, "Oh, that's all they hear is, oh, there are no good women out there."
So that's all you'll see.
And that's all you're going to see.
I had a teacher who would always say, when you're hungry, you see the restaurants, right? So if you think about that. When you're hungry, you see the restaurants. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking for it, you will see it. It's like I drive Mercedes, right? So everywhere I look, I see Mercedes everywhere, right? Yeah. Or I'm trying to level up to another car or whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
You start seeing it everywhere, right?
Yeah. The G-Wagon, I've always wanted.
You see it everywhere, right? The more you think about it, the more you start to see it.
And I'm about to have that car too.
And it's almost like it's coming into your orbit, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And it's like, what are you asking for? What are you
energetically cooking up,
yeah.
like for your future? Like, so yeah, I believe
we can't afford that. That's a money wound, right? We can't. So your mind says we can't afford that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I try to switch it to how can I afford that, right? Or how can I? Essentially, what I'm trying to say is like, what can I do to pay for that? That's the way I like to look at things. Like, what can I? If I don't have like the money right, at hand, I could be like, okay, well, what can I do to make some money to get that? Instead of blocking myself and saying, no, there's no way. I can't afford that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
You're speaking that into existence. The universe is like, okay, you can't. Mm-hmm. Get your broke ass out of my store.
Right. It's just like right. You have the desire. You have that want. You're just like, I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have this. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. The universe will figure out a way to get that to you. You may not know how you're gonna get there. So like, how am I going to afford it? I don't know, but I'm gonna get it.
And also understanding that you don't have to settle, right? You don't have to settle for, I don't know, I don't think I'll get something better than this. I should just stay. This is as good as it gets. I wish it was better, but well, limiting and so yourself. It is. And so then that's all you'll ever get, baby.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of don't settle. What do you want? What do you really want? Is this it? Because if it's not, keep it moving. Mm-hmm. Don't fuck around and waste time here. Is this it? Does this fit the criteria? Is this all good? Then you're good. And being sure of it. What is it that you want? What is your goal? What do you really want? What kind of partner do you want? What kind of house do you want? What kind of career do you want? What kind of work do you want? What kind of hobbies do you want? What kind of friends do you want? Right. I think even cutting people out of your lives is very powerful. There's so many people that just, not that there's anything bad with them. I have a lot of people that I love, fucking deeply love them, but I just they had something in common with the version of me that doesn't exist anymore, and I just don't vibe with that anymore. I still love them, but I'm not gonna be like, love from afar,
wish them well.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish the best for you, and
you just don't settle. You if you need to have a specific circle around you, ask for it, look for it.
Yeah.
That's going to be conducive to the goals or whatever circle you want, or whatever whatever it may be, whatever area of your life is. Right. Not settling for. That's my biggest regret. I mean, it's my biggest fear is regret. Right? I'd never want to be able to say like, what if I would have taken a chance and done that one thing? I don't want to live that way. So for me, I'm like, when things scare me, I'm like, well, guess I'm doing it. You know.
Jump in.
Yeah.
Jump in.
I always wanted to get, this, or I always wanted to do that, or.
Yeah, it's just like, what is your heart calling for? What is it that makes you feel truly good and alive? What sparks your soul? Like, go toward that. Follow your heart, and give it a shot. Just whatever it is that is following your intuition, right? It's like, how strong how strong is your intuition?
Well, I think the more you lean into it, the stronger it gets too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a muscle.
I don't know. I think there's a lot to that. I think there's a lot to what you're asking for. I mean, I try this. I write shit down, man. You know what's crazy? I had a calendar. I used to write some fucking crazy numbers on this calendar. I was broke. This was like 5 years ago. Yeah, maybe 5 years ago. I wasn't broke, but I shouldn't say broke. I was never broke. I didn't have the money that I wished to have, right? I had enough money, but I didn't, And I started writing these crazy numbers on the calendar. I'd be like, this is how much money I want to make this month. And more often than not, I don't know. I can't explain it. Really, I can't explain it. I would even do it. My sister would come over and I'd be like, check it out. I was like, what number? Give me a number. And she'd be like, 9,347. I'd be like, fucking 9,347. And I'll make like 7 G's that month. I'd be like, what the fuck? It was like I was throwing my shit in the wishing well. I was having like a trippy experience, right? Granted, this was a part of my career where I was like starting to book more commercials and stuff, and like money was just coming in. So there's residuals check coming sometimes, and it's just like boom, 10 grand.
Yeah.
So that shit started happening, right? But before that, prior to that, it was so sparse. So I just kept riding on this thing, and I was like, I want to make 100 grand. I want to make, And shit starts happening, and it's like I feel like sometimes we're putting our order in, and it's like when you look for the opportunities to attract what you're writing, right?
Yeah.
I want to buy a house. I want to buy a complex. I want to buy a threeplex. I want to buy whatever you want to, There's power in that. There's something happening. I don't know whether it's just you motivating or keeping yourself accountable or energetic. I don't know what the fuck it is, to be honest. But I know that doing helps, at least for me.
Yeah.
And if you haven't tried it and you don't have the things you want,
write it down.
You got to lose. What do you got to lose?
Just write it down.
You don't have it right now anyway, right? Write that shit down, put it in a jar, store it away somewhere.
Yeah. And
And then put your head down and go to work.
Affirm it and just let it go. Don't be attached to it. That's another thing.
Because the universe might have a better option for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just be like,
writing
it's my order. Just
powerful.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. It becomes physical. You physically write it down. You're
bring it into existence.
Yes, writing it into existence.
Well, we're about the hour point. Andrea Sixtos, it's always a pleasure.
Always. Yes.
Any last things? Any last words?
Any last words? You're worth it all. It's just like
you're worth it all.
You're worth it all of it. Fucking don't settle for anything less than what you deserve, and if you are not happy now, I don't know, just do things that make you happy. I don't know. It's like as simple as that. Just, you're not happy with your circumstances, then switch it up.
Change it.
Change the narrative.
Be brutally honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You might have to make some changes that are going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you want to be happy or what? What's up? You want to be happy?
You're ultimately in control.
You're in control of everything. Everything is your responsibility.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just to work toward your happiness, and the universe will follow suit and will provide for you. That in my experience, that's what I've deemed to be. That's what's been true, and I don't know, man.
You're gonna keep on rocking the track.
Just do you, man. Do you.
Pour into your cup. Pour into your cup and overflow on others.
Yes.
Thank you. It's episode 90. We're trucking along. We're almost at episode 100.
Yeah.
Andrea, you were born in 1990.
I was.
I just gave your age away, but we know it. Whatever.
90.
It's okay.
I'm a 90s baby.
Yeah, you are a 90s baby.
Just
I'm an 80s
barely.
baby. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
We'll be back soon with some more Curious Radio. Thanks for stopping by.